Hello, Yastabricks here. Today I am going to be bringing you my review on the Newt's Case of Magical Creatures set. I bashed this set several times in previous videos, but I think it looks a lot better in person. And please don't mind me not knowing the names of anything, except I know this is the Thunderbird and that thing is a Niffler. But other than that, I have no idea what any of these things are called, so yeah, please don't make annoying comments about that. Anyways, this set retails for $50, contains 694 pieces, and without further ado, let's take a look at these 4 exclusive minifigures. And these are all minifigures, mind you, that appear in the CMF series, but they are different variants, actually, which I'm very happy about. Starting with Newt Scamander, which is honestly, I think, the most detailed minifigure in the set. Maybe Queenie could beat him out on that. He has a very, very fine torso, and the difference here is that this little twig creature is not printed on it like it is in the CMF series, and instead you get this mold, but I think it's a fine representation of it. People are bashing this, and it's like, yeah, it could have used some printing on it. Even a new mold would have been nice, but they already introduced a couple new molds for the set, so I can see why they wouldn't. And then he also has the burnt orange color wand, I believe it's called. And again, very elaborate printing. Used that spiky hairpiece in this new kind of ginger, kind of tan color. He has one happy face, and if you turn around to the other side, he has one scared face, maybe when Jacob's encountering the rhino creature. I don't know. But yeah, that does it for Newt. Now let's take a look at Queenie, which is my personal favorite figure of this set. You can see I kind of just put the Niffler in her hand. It doesn't really meant to be an accessory, but yeah, it's dual molded, as you can see inside there, and I think it looks rather nice. Also appears in the collectible minifigure series. Anyways, Queenie has a black wand, this uncommon color for the hairpiece. It does appear in a couple other sets, and she has one frightened face, and then she has one like overly cartoonish excited face. She is in these pink pajamas, and that's a color that you don't see that much on minifigures other than dresses. She does have these kind of printed on shoes, but I don't really like how they don't go around both sides like they did on the CMF series variant. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for Queenie. Like the minifigure a lot. Next up here is Jacob Kowalski, and he includes the new umbrella mold in black, which is an exclusive color for this set. He has kind of this aviator cap helmet, and you can see the strap on him, and he has kind of a determined / excited face on there. He does have his armor detailing on there, and I like how they even found an exclusive variant to put in this set, because you can't really have that many variants of Jacob. Standard dark gray legs, and then on the back there isn't much going on, but it actually gives you an alternative face, which is kind of a more stern look. And there's actually a hairpiece included in this set, which is the dark brown Doctor Strange hairpiece. Same exact one that comes in the CMF series. I think it might actually be in the suitcase right now, so we'll take a look at that once we get inside the suitcase. And the final minifigure is going to be Tina Goldstein. This is a new color for the dark brown Scarlett Johansson hairpiece. Well, your character's called Black Widow. I blanked on that for whatever reason. She has this teapot mold, which is relatively new. I think it came out in 2016. She has a brown wand, reddish brown, which is like the Ron Weasley color. And she does have some interesting printing on her torso. Nothing really on the back. And then her alternative face is kind of like a cross or like determined facial expression. I don't know exactly what this is supposed to be, but yeah, that just about does it for the characters in the set. Now let's take a look at the Fantastic Beasts themselves, and I'll just go in order of which you build them, starting with this kind of snake bird type thing. Again, I'm a pretty big fan of the Fantastic Beasts movie, even though I've seen it once. I just can't remember the names for the life of me. It kind of has this new bird face mold, which is the same that actually is used on the Thunderbird, and my mouth can open. It's just very difficult to like get in there to open it. I wish it was more easily accessible. Let's see. There's kind of a little tab on it that you can get. If I can even open it. This is annoying. But I guess you're just going to have to take my word for it that it can open. It does have some very, very fine printing on it, as you can see, on both sides. But yeah, the flaw of this creature is that the mouth doesn't really open that well. It's also very hard to get it to stand up. You have to have it either curled up or straightened out. You can't really have a dynamic pose with it without it falling over like it does. And that's because of the weight of these wings towards the top, which are new molds, and I think they look lovely. I can easily see them using these in other contexts of other situations. Like, you could definitely make a pretty elaborate jetpack or something for that. Eagle wings, you know what I mean? And it does have a bunch of ball joints, which I'm still vouching to get these in different colors, so you don't have to have dark gray on a cyan and purple color scheme beast. And yeah, the tail is purple, but again, it just kind of ruins it with that light gray ball joint. Like, make these in different colors, Lego. I don't get what the big deal is. But yeah, you do have plenty of articulation, which is great. You can get this in so many dynamic poses. The thing is, it just won't stand up well. It's my least favorite beast of this set. Next up is the Thunderbird, and this is the one that I believe to be the least flawed. I think it looks very nice, very elegant. My mom said that she loved it when she saw it, and you can see it does have that same bird mouth mold as the other thing that we just looked at. It does have different printing, though. Let's see if we can get the mouth to open on this one. Perhaps not. No, probably not. And it does have these little horns, which are not new molds, and the wings are existing molds that they used for the eagle in Lord of the Rings, but it has this new gold color on it, and these talons are, you can get them to stand up. It's just a little bit tricky, and in order for it to balance well, you should have this part of it down, but if you don't want to, you can go like that and it will still balance. It's just like, you even give it the lightest tap and it falls over like that. And it does use those gold bar pieces. Great part usage right there. Has some stickers on it like so, and you can totally just sit a minifigure on it if you please. It does use these whip pieces in gold, which is very clever parts usage, and you get 4 of these Eris the Eagle wings from Chima. For more detailing, this is easily my favorite beast of this set. I think it looks lovely, elegant, amazing. The final beast of the set is this rhinoceros type thing with the lava detailing. I believe in the movie the lava went all the way through the body, but in order to do that they would have had to make it either 3 or 5 studs wide, and both dimensions would look a little bit odd considering the size of the thing. But I think it looks decent how it is. You can see the front, you can get some very dynamic poses in there. You can rotate the legs, kind of get it in a walking position, if you will. And it looks pretty good. And the eyes, I think, are a little bit too comically small, if you know what I mean. I don't love that. And also, one flaw is that this top part just pops off way too easily. It's just connected with that one little stud, as you can see right there. And once it does pop off, it's a little bit hard to get back on. But again, you can kind of see it has these rotating legs. And then these legs right here are actually built on ball joints. If I can pop one out, you can see that's how it's built. One thing I don't like about this beast is how it has exposed Technic holes, which it's like, come on, Lego. Could have done better than that. But other than that, I really like this one. I think it's nearly flawless. This part needs to just pop off less easily. Because literally, if you like touch the horn sometimes and you're holding it, like it just pops off so easily. And yeah, that's what I think about him. Now let's take a look at the main build of the set, which is the suitcase. And I don't know, I feel like it's kind of small. Smaller than I expected. And for a $50 set especially, it's not huge. And that's just because so much of the pieces are used in the side builds. Like, that's probably about half of the pieces in this set. And one thing that really disappoints me is the creatures don't fit inside of the suitcase. They could have made this a really cool, like, $70, $80 set where the suitcase is a lot bigger, maybe put less pieces into the beasts, and they could all fit inside the suitcase. So you could kind of have a traveling set with you, if you know what I mean. The good news is you can fit all the minifigures in if you want to, and all their accessories, so that's good news. But yeah, the aesthetic look to it on the outside isn't very pleasing to me. The front looks great. If you look at it like this, I think it's very nice. Looks nearly flawless, and you can carry it with this little handle up top. You can kind of see that. Yeah, and it's actually really sturdy for only being connected with those 2 clips. And you can see there are a lot of anti-studs on the bottom. I don't really know how I feel about that. And you won't see that often, but like when you're holding it, you will. And it kind of just rests on this Technic bit, which allows it to open. And I think that's a little bit too elaborate for the simple function that, like, it opens like that. I feel like they could have used that in a more space-efficient way, if you know what I mean. From the side, it's asymmetrical. I don't really mind these pieces, but this burnt orange right there. I don't really know how I feel about that. The exterior of the suitcase is definitely the most disappointing part of the set for me. And these parts can actually open up while you still have the suitcase completely sealed. And you can see that's kind of the entrance inside. You can see the little egg right there that is being laid. So yeah, that's what you can do with that. Now to open up the suitcase itself, what you pretty much have to do is open it by like this. I was hoping you could just pop it from a corner, but one thing, of course it doesn't happen on camera, but one thing I always notice is these tend to pop off when you're trying to open them. And it's not happening on camera because it does not want to cooperate. So yeah, that opens up, and this little center part is actually part of the little house inside, so that's why it stays together. You can clip this off, and you can kind of swivel it out, and then if you want to, you can rotate that or angle it up to make kind of a thatched roof. It doesn't look amazing from that angle, but I think like if you look at it from that, I think it looks really, really nice. And you can see there are a couple wooden stickers used on there. And one thing you can actually do, there's Jacob's hairpiece. You can kind of angle this out so it's a ladder. And then if you put those back as they were, yeah, you can have a little ladder to get inside. So if you have your minifigures on the other side like that, you can just take the ladder, climb into the house, and then get into the magical world of the suitcase. Speaking of the house, let's take a look at the interior of that. You can see one interior detail is a little picture of Letta Lestrange, Newt Scamander's childhood friend. I forget if there was a romantic relationship or not. A couple stairs going up, and you can see there is a green and a purple potion. That purple gem is actually a rare color, so I appreciate getting that. And then a gold bar piece, possibly from the Thunderbird right here. But yeah, that's all there is to that little section. And the exterior actually has a couple windows. And I keep saying exterior, but it's actually the interior to a suitcase. It's like a house inside a house type thing. I also really, really like the idea of having a human scale suitcase. Well, smaller than human scale, because, I mean, to be honest, what person carries around a suitcase this size? But then it has a minifigure scale interior, which is just great. And even though you can't fit the beasts inside, you can kind of pose them to the different areas that are meant for them. Like this area is meant for the rhino. You do have a little bit of storage right here. You're meant to put the drumstick in there, but I just clip it onto the spare clip because it always falls out. And it also has a grooming brush and a butcher's knife. I don't know what they're doing with that. There's also a sink right there, as well as a bale of hay, I believe. And then you actually get these new flowers in the white color, which I think is awesome. I'd never wanted these in the white color, but I think they're cool, useful. So you can kind of pose the rhino thing there. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because you're meant to put the Thunderbird right here. And it kind of has its sanctuary with all its gold. It has some coins in there and a gold bar in there that I don't know how it would produce. I don't know if it like burps it up or like lays them. I don't really know. And then you have this tree type thing growing over here, and a bunch of these new leaf pieces are used in the set as well, which I really appreciate. There is also a bucket, and I assume this is the area for the snake type thing. I don't know that for sure, but there is a bucket, which I don't know exactly what the bucket would be used for. And then there's the little egg, which I think is incredible parts usage with that Craven the Hunter little minifigure neck piece, and the little handle just fell off the bucket. Oh well. But yeah, that pretty much does it for the interior of the suitcase, which I think is impressive. The amount of detail they packed into a small area, very impressive. And I think I forgot to mention, there's the Muggle-worthy lock on there, and you can see NS for Newt Scamander. These little things right here do nothing. They're not locks or anything. So yeah. Anyways, I think that just about does it for my review on the set. So I'll show you the packaging for the set itself. And then of course it's over on the other side of the studio. Here it is. So let's take a look at it. I'll show you the packaging, and then the final verdict is just what it says. So here's the packaging. It's, I think, a $60 box, even though it's a $50 set, and you can see it kind of has it open like this. So I think, yeah, this area is meant for this bird, and it's laying its egg. I don't really know what the Thunderbird's doing over there, But Queenie has the drumstick for it, I guess, and then the rhino is kind of just chasing Jacob, which I think is funny. Let's take a look at the back. You can see Newt and Jacob flying on the Thunderbird. You can see the other thing kind of intimidating Tina, and then you can see Queenie talking to the rhino, and it shows all the accessories included in the set. And yeah, I think that just about does it for my review. I think this is a great set. I think it's not necessarily a must-buy, but definitely one that a lot of people will want, just because of the amount of detail, and the price-to-part ratio is very strong as well, and it doesn't contain like a huge amount of small pieces. You get large pieces, new molds. It could have contained one more minifigure for the price, but I think 4 minifigures for $50, considering they're all exclusive, is just fine. And yeah, I'd have to give this set a 9 out of 10. The only thing that really disappointed me is that the creatures don't fit in the case. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you later. Yasta out.